right, thanks, Amanda. We're going to start by looking at our agenda first and foremost. We're going to walk through introductions in just a moment. We'll do a quick product release overview. So we just had a product release in October. We'll talk about what's in there at a high level, and then in more detail, we'll talk about global invoicing with Peppol, enhanced PCI security, TradeCentric Analytics. Jess is going to spend a lot of time on that. And then I'll cover TradeCentric Connect packages, a new brand for our packaging that I think a lot of our customers are going to respond well to. And we'll end with Q&A. So let's move to introductions. So as Amanda said, my name is Steve Frechette. I'm the Chief Product and Technology Officer for TradeCentric, which means that I'm responsible for the product, the platform, the roadmap, and all the services that all of our customers use on a day-to-day basis in their B2B integrations. And I've spent about 25 years in various domains, including integration, analytics, e-commerce for the past 7 or 10 years, and just really thrilled to be here to share all of our new innovations with you. Jess?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jessica Wetzel, and I'm a senior product manager here at TradeCentric, and I oversee the company's analytics and UI products. I have a 16-year background in B2B distribution. I focused on leading e-commerce and digital marketing strategies before coming over here to TradeCentric in 2020. Fun fact, I was a TradeCentric customer myself starting back in 2013. So I did build an integration program from one single buyer connection to hundreds over the course of 6 years. And since joining TradeCentric, I've had the opportunity to launch some new products to empower our users to get more value out of the TradeCentric platform. And most recently, that is TradeCentric Analytics. So that's what I'm excited to cover with you guys today.
Awesome. Thanks, Jess. And we're thrilled to introduce this new webinar series that we call TradeCentric Unboxed. We're going to host this webinar every quarter to share updates and insights into our latest quarterly product release. So be sure to follow us on LinkedIn and subscribe to our newsletter. I think there's going to be, there it is, a link in the chat. And by subscribing there, you can stay up to date on all future sessions. So let's move ahead and look at the release overview. So our product team's been really busy over the past year or so, listening to customers, identifying key pain points that you all are experiencing in your e-procurement and B2B programs, that if we could solve those, right, if we could solve those problems, would really help you improve efficiencies, reduce costs, and grow revenue, which is what everybody is excited and eager to do. Today, we're going to cover 3 important updates from our October release that are directly related to that feedback that we received. So the first is TradeCentric Analytics. The second is enhanced PCI data security, building on our already strong security practices, and then global invoicing support through Peppol. So let's get started. And you can go one more slide. So on the Peppol side. So let's talk about Peppol, and I think maybe some people aren't as familiar with it, depending upon whether you're doing business solely in North America or not. But Peppol is an acronym, and it stands for Pan-European Public Procurement Online. That's a mouthful, so just stick with Peppol. The reason that Peppol exists is really simple. There's a lot of fragmentation in Europe, of course, and there's a lot of regulatory and compliance differences between each country. And it makes it really challenging for 2 business entities that are trying to do business in Europe, or one in Europe and one outside of Europe, to really accomplish that and get trade done. So imagine that you're a business in the UK, and you're trying to do business and trade with companies in any of the dozens of countries in Europe, each having its own regulations, each having its own requirements, business requirements, and compliance challenges. That's obviously very difficult to accomplish. So I think in 2008, there were about 12 EU countries that came together, and they wanted to address this challenge, right? How do we make it easier to do cross-border trade? And they worked through a number of years on as some of these standards often take many years to accomplish. And they created a technical solution and set of standards to reduce the friction associated with cross-border trade. So this solution is now referred to as Peppol, And it's a set of internationally agreed formats and protocols for exchanging documents between companies in different countries. I'm going to raise my shade here, right, so I can get the sun off my eyes. And Peppol's now a cornerstone for automating business cross-border business transactions in Europe, but also beyond Europe as it's grown in popularity. So using Peppol automation really reduces manual data entry and reduces errors. It lowers processing costs, and it really accelerates transaction times, allowing you to, achieve faster payment processing and improve cash flow. So what is it though? So let's look at this diagram here. Important thing to remember is that Peppol is not a vendor. It's a standard. And the actual technical solution for the Peppol network, in quotes, is provided by vendors who function as what's called a Peppol access point. So you can see what's shown here is something known as a four-corner model. So instead of a supplier, right, that top left box, instead of a supplier sending an invoice directly to a buyer, the supplier will send its invoice to a Peppol access point. And the purpose of the supplier's Peppol access point is to enforce and standardize the format, contents, and protocol of the invoice before sending it to the supplier or to the buyer. So once it does that, the supplier's access point will send a Peppol compliant version of the invoice to the buyer's access point, and then the buyer's access point, which may represent the standards and regulations for the buyer's country, will then validate that the invoice is properly formatted and send it to its final destination, the buyer, right? So it's a pretty simple model, but it all relies on individual vendors implementing access points and then suppliers and buyers utilizing one of those vendors for their own purposes and plug into the network. So really the key for a supplier to satisfy the minimum Peppol requirements for invoices is to send the invoice to an authorized Peppol access point. So let's take a look at the next slide and talk about TradeCentric's role in all of this. So as a technical solution and vendor, our value at TradeCentric is very similar to that, that I just talked about for Peppol. We provide secure end-to-end integration to simplify invoice processing and the life cycle between suppliers and their trading partners. We reduce manual data entry and errors. We lower processing costs, etc. But we don't provide a Peppol access point, or up until now, we did not provide a Peppol access point to its suppliers. And that made it difficult for suppliers whose trading partners required Peppol compliant invoices. But we do now. So that's one of the things we just released in October. So suppliers using TradeCentric for all of its wonderful benefits that we just talked about can also now send invoices to customers on the Peppol network to support cross-border trade in different countries. So instead of sending it to a dedicated access point, you send it to TradeCentric, and we function as the access point within Peppol. That's the big change here. And this is more than just a convenience, right? If you're using TradeCentric for non-Peppol transactions, and then you're kind of forced to use another vendor for Peppol, it can really make it a challenge with maintaining multiple vendors. So now you can save costs and consolidate vendors by just using TradeCentric for both. Okay, so that's the big news on the Peppol front, and we're really trying to expand and help customers, especially in EMEA, expand with TradeCentric, but also expand their B2B integrations with their trading partners in those regions. All right, next slide. So we're going to talk a little bit about data security. So let's move on. One more slide. Thank you. So when it comes to how we handle data protection and security is obviously critical, especially when data is being sent or received between different companies and systems, right? That's where you can really get into trouble. But that's obviously necessary for B2B. That's exactly what B2B is all about. And we all know that data must be protected from unauthorized access, right? This is kind of paramount today. We want to prevent fraud, data leaks, misuse of sensitive data. We also want to prevent expensive and costly business disruptions, as well as prevent reputational damage, right, associated with having a negative data security event. So as suppliers, your customers need to be confident that they can trust you with their sensitive data, and you need to be confident that you can trust your customers with sensitive data. So let's move ahead. And we're very committed to protecting our customers' data here at TradeCentric. We employ rigorous industry standard security practices, is probably the best way to put it. We use security groups to protect our network perimeter. We practice regular penetration testing by accredited vendors. We do code vulnerability scanning before deployment, data encryption at rest using advanced industry standards. And we hold ourselves to high standards by maintaining ISO 27001 and SOC 2 Type 2 certifications, right? And through these and other layered defenses, we're deeply committed to protecting your data. Now, with our layered release, we're proud to offer enhanced data security for purchase orders that might contain credit card data. Now, we always provided the ability to tokenize credit card data in purchase orders, but each implementation that we pursued in the past was a custom implementation, and these were actually really difficult to implement, maintain, and keep standardized across customers. So what we've done now in this release is build a standard PO. We can think of it as a PO pre-processing environment, which is designed to be PCI compliant, and it integrates with your payment provider, the supplier's payment providers. And what we do is you can see from the diagram down the bottom, we will take the PO in from our customer, and we will then utilize the payment provider of you, the supplier, to tokenize any PCI data that was in that PO before it's ever stored or processed by TradeCentric services, right? So, and then once we get it back from the payment provider, we will send that PO with the encrypted data through our system, right? So before it ever touches any disk or any forwarding to any endpoint, we will make sure that we do all that. So we're initially supporting 3 payment providers: Card Connect, Authorize.net, and Paytrace. And we're going to be adding support for more in future quarters. We're super excited about this. We're building on our already strong security practices to provide you with the confidence that your sensitive customer data is in safe hands with TradeCentric. So on that strong note, let's switch gears, and we're going to do a deep dive into our main topic, TradeCentric Analytics. So I want to hand it over to Jess.
Thank you so much, Steve, and hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining, and I'm thrilled to be able to introduce TradeCentric Analytics to you today. So during our discussion, we will cover the power of analytics, as you can see here, why it's critical for businesses aiming to drive growth through automation, why TradeCentric chose to invest in this technology for our customers, and how customers can drive growth and efficiency using this new technology using real-world examples. So let's start off with why analytics is so critical to e-procurement integration teams. What we've seen with over a decade of experience in this space is that as businesses begin building out their e-procurement integration programs, the focus initially is on connecting buyer and supplier systems, which makes sense. Connecting is foundational. It's why customers choose TradeCentric, right? We have a really powerful platform, makes it easy for businesses to add more integration points and trading partners. However, since it is much faster to add new trading partners and integration points, each additional integration point brings an increase in transactional volume, right? And so the need for data and insights quickly goes from like nice to have to essential as these programs scale. So for example, technical teams need analytics to monitor transaction success rates, right? They want to quickly address any issues or bottlenecks because they're responsible for ensuring everything goes seamlessly. Operations are moving smoothly. That's what they're responsible for. So they need to monitor, the transaction success rates. Meanwhile, business teams, they're going to rely on analytics to understand more the financial impacts of their integration program. So they would be tracking metrics like trading partner performance or shopping patterns or revenue growth from automated customers versus non-automated customers. For example, one independent study showed that companies saw a 20% revenue lift from existing customers who adopted automated e-procurement. They also might be looking at how the cost savings, what was the cost savings from this automation? The same study found an 80% reduction in time spent managing purchase orders. So, measuring the efficiency gains. These are all examples of why teams who are looking to drive growth through automation and receive these tangible benefits like revenue, increased revenue and increased efficiency, they need tools like TradeCentric Analytics to identify these growth opportunities, create and sustain positive trading relationships, and have the insights and data necessary to staff and scale their automation programs successfully, right? As it's growing, you have to make sure you're keeping up with that growth. You need this data to do that. So, essentially, you really cannot successfully automate e-procurement without having this level of visibility into your data, which is why TradeCentric had to ensure our customers had these insights as part of their TradeCentric package. So, next slide. Now that we've covered why TradeCentric Analytics, why analytics is important, let's dive into what is TradeCentric Analytics? What are the key features of the platform, and how do businesses use these features to actually drive growth, right, and maximize efficiency? So if you are a current customer, you might know that TradeCentric has offered reports in our platform before. But in order to offer our customers the deeper insights, more actionable information, we worked really closely with our customers, and we listened to our customers. We found the number one feature they were asking for was deeper insights, more actionable information. We took these existing reports and we rebuilt them on a faster, more performant data platform, improved the user interface, added more advanced data and analysis tools. And that's where and how TradeCentric Analytics evolved. And when we were building this product, we really focused on providing these benefits you see on the screen here, right? Drive growth, save time and reduce cost, maximize profits. So when we built out the features of the product, this is what we looked at. Like, how can we drive growth using analytics? Well, for example, the product has nearly 60 different charts and tables available, along with these advanced data analysis tools. So, customers can analyze program performance in great detail. You can review by solution, trading partner, time period, delivery statuses, right? Lots of different ways to make the data relevant to you and uncover opportunities for growth and optimization. Along those same lines, real-time visibility, right? We know that's really important for saving time and reducing cost. We know that monitoring your transaction volumes and delivery statuses, super important, because that means you can troubleshoot issues before they escalate into major disruptions. That saves time and money throughout the entire supply chain. So, save time, reduce costs. How can we do that? Here are the features for that. And then maximizing profits. So, for example, TradeCentric really prides itself, first of all, in helping our customers ensure they are getting the maximum value out of each integration point and solution that they subscribe to with us. When you become a customer of TradeCentric, you not only get a dedicated customer success manager to help you optimize your program, but you also get this subscription to TradeCentric Analytics. And so you can view on-demand detailed trading partner engagement reports, and it allows you to evaluate your partner engagement and integration usage and just ensure each connection is performing at its highest potential so that you're not leaving anything on the table, right? We want you to maximize every point that you have with us. And so those are some of the goals and like the features of the product that we built in to help our customers achieve those goals as they scale out their program. But next slide. In order to show you how you would actually use TradeCentric Analytics dashboards to create value for your business, I did want to, cover some real-world examples that we have seen with our customers as ways they have been able to boost revenue, improve customer retention, and improve efficiency through reduced errors using analytics, data available in analytics today. So for example, under drive growth, we had one supplier, for example, notice that they had consistently high volume of punch-out sessions, right? We have a punch-out sessions dashboard. You can look at all sorts of information on that dashboard about your punch-out solution. And we had a supplier, listen, they had a lot of punch-out sessions going on, but they were not seeing a lot of return carts, right? People were building carts, but not returning them into their procurement systems. So, they were able to see that pattern using the dashboard. This insight led them to investigate why buyers were not completing their orders. And using that insight, they were able to implement some changes to their e-commerce site to improve their customers' buying journey, not only for the punch-up buyers, by the way, but for their direct buyers website as well. So it improved their conversion rates for both direct and punch-up buyers, and reduce that cart abandonment and boost their revenue. Or for tracking trading partner performance, in analytics, we allow account managers to monitor integration usage by trading partner, right? We talked about maximizing your profits. So you have that proactive approach to customer retention. So you can support low-performing customers, nurture high-value relationships, that type of thing. So for example, we had another supplier that noticed one of their historically top-performing customers was placing fewer purchase orders than before, right? They saw that dropping off. And their account manager reached out to the customer only to learn that the customer was considering switching to a competitor. So thanks to the earlier intervention, they were able to address the customer's concerns and ultimately be able to retain them as a customer before anything churned. Another supplier had used TradeCentric Analytics to identify when their major accounts typically started shopping for they had a very seasonal business, and their sales team was able to proactively reach out and secure contracts ahead of the competition. So lots of different ways you can use these reports for monitoring your trading partner performance. And then, of course, we talked a lot about being the real-time visibility into transactions that are happening through the channel. I mean, just like any other ordering channel, e-procurement integrations, you want is like an ordering channel, right? You want to keep things running smoothly. And with TradeCentric Analytics, technical and operations teams can easily monitor transaction volumes, understand delivery statuses, track failures, and this helps prevent surprises. So this is one of my favorite examples is we had one of our customers, they rapidly scaled from just one integration to 250 within their first year. And without TradeCentric Analytics to help them monitor and manage, I mean, they had said their team would have been stretched way too thin trying to maintain visibility and control, scaling that rapidly. So they were able to monitor each connection's performance and address issues and scale more confidently because they had this information within the analytics platform. So just some examples of how analytics has helped our clients overall. And I wanted to dive a little bit deeper even. If you go to the next slide, I wanted to show some examples on the dashboards of how you could visualize this information and get some of these insights. So for example, this is a screenshot from our punch out sessions dashboard where you can see the punch out sessions dashboard gives you a lot of information. Again, over 60 charts and tables, but this is just one piece of it where it just shows very clearly, here's the number of punch out sessions that you have by month, and then how many return carts come along with it. We talked about the example of being able to monitor your return cart percentage, and is it going up? Is it going down? And then you can implement, improvements. And what's nice too is that, you can implement your improvements maybe you offer product recommendation on your site or real-time inventory visibility or something like that. Well, now you can come back and see, did it actually move the needle too, right? So now you can measure the impact of those changes and see it really, really clearly and plainly on the screen there. On the punch-out sections. But if you go to the next screen, we also have, here's an example of that trading partner performance monitoring where, again, I mean, you have this nice table. Here's all of your trading partners. This is from our purchase order dashboard, and it is displaying to you the volume of purchase orders by trading partner. If you operate in multiple currencies, that's all displayed for you. On one table, if you want to filter just for one currency, you can do that. If you want to export it, you can do that. If you want to drill into just one of these buyers, right? Okay, one of these buyers, you're like, oh, that looks weird. And you just want to see their patterns throughout the past 6 months, the past 4 weeks, the past 7 days. You can do all that as well. So there's a lot of different ways to drill in and monitor your trading partners and get really deep with your customers using these dashboards. And then just wanted to show one more screen. And this is the integration health monitoring example, where this is the new homepage dashboard that provides those really quick insights for technical teams who want to make sure things are running smoothly. And this just provides a quick, concise, are things working? What patterns am I seeing? Are my documents being delivered, or am I seeing a large piece of undelivered pie on the screen there? Is there a big volume, right? Am I getting a large influx of orders I did not expect? Do I need to go warn my fulfillment team to get ready, right? All of those types of scenarios are covered in our homepage here, so that teams are ready and prepared for creating a really smooth experience for their buyers and their suppliers, right? So if you move to the next slide. And the reason I was able to provide some of these examples is we actually had a pretty robust beta program before launching analytics live to our users. So we had quite a few beta users, and during that time, we were able to collect some feedback, and it was really cool. We got to put it to the test in real world, and the feedback was overwhelmingly positive, and it was cool to see that customers were already getting value from this new product. So you can see that some of our users said the views are very intuitive, easy to use, have all the options I can imagine I might need for reporting KPI purposes. Love it. High level overview and visuals that can be shared with leadership, right? I mean, when we talked about those goals, we want to make sure that you can scale and staff your programs, report on those, make sure like other people in your business can understand what's going on. It's kind of a niche, in a lot of organizations. Here's a way that you can help other people understand what's going on and why automation is so beneficial for your business. And that's what, we're hearing people are able to achieve, which is great. And then the next slide. Another, user said, I like that it shows me my active and inactive routes so we can better understand how our customers are using the product. Again, going back to that trading partner performance, making sure you're maximizing those integration points that you have, really important to TradeCentric. And so it was great to get that feedback from our users, and we're excited to launch this product and continue to add to it right now that we have this modernized platform to build from. So that is TradeCentric Analytics. And I think at this point, I turn it back over to Steve.
Awesome. Sorry, I'm just getting oriented here. I think it's pretty exciting. We were talking about this internally, a couple weeks ago, and how far we've come. And a lot of this is, so much of it has to do with usability. And I think Jess might comment on that a little bit more in a minute. But, we used to have reporting, And now we have an analytics experience that really allows and encourages that type of interactive and very responsive Q&A with the product itself, right? You can kind of get those experience and all those metrics and results very, very quickly. So there's more to come with analytics. Maybe we'll talk about that in a minute as well, but super jazzed about this. The team spent a lot of time, Jess and her team spent a lot of time doing user research on what we used to do with reporting and what was missing, and why did it not really hit the mark with users. And so a lot of that really factored into this new experience that we built. Being able to provide customers with the insights they needed, right, in a really effective way to manage and drive performance of your B2B integrations at scale is really a key difference here. So thanks for that walkthrough, Jess. I think it was awesome. Hopefully it got people excited enough to go check it out if they haven't already. The last topic before we get to Q&A is an important update on TradeCentric's product packaging, which is now branded as TradeCentric Connect. So let's take a look at that. We redesigned our packages and how we sell access to the services that we have in the platform to be simpler, more intuitive, and more in line with how customers view their programs. And we also designed our packages to pair complementary solutions, so punch out and PO, for example, together to empower our customers to get the most out of their integration programs and investment in TradeCentric. So instead of the past where you would purchase routes for specific solutions, you're now purchasing packages that meet the needs of an individual buyer integration. Right? So let's walk through some of these packages. We start on the left-hand side with Basics. We designed Basics, or the Basics package, for suppliers and trading partners who are at the beginning of their B2B journey together, right? So that typically includes, kind of what you think of in terms of Basics is punch out and purchase order, right? Kind of go hand in hand there. And many like to start there, right? That makes a lot of sense for most. All of our packages also include TradeCentric Portal and the baseline analytics offering that Jess just walked through, as well as standard support. So that repeats across all the packages. So the next one up from Basics is Essentials, which includes punch out PO, but it also adds invoice automation. And we consider those three like the best practice, right? We call it the trifecta of B2B Connected Commerce, because that's where when you implement punch out PO and invoice, you see the highest return on investment with a program like TradeCentric. So that's why we call it Essentials. We feel like those companies who really strive for getting the most out of their programs are going to start with needing at least those three: punch out PO and invoice. So we consider that to be essential. And it's really for those supplier trading partner relationships that are able to commit, right, to maximizing ROI, and they want to get the most out of that B2B integration. And again, includes portal, baseline analytics, and standard support. Now, a step up from Essentials is Essentials Plus. That adds the option to, through an add-on, to include PO acknowledgement and advanced shipping notice, right, to the things in Essentials. And you might need those for certain situations with your trading partner. And then finally, Complete, which includes all the solutions. Not an option anymore. It's just you include everything with Complete. So these packages are really meant to give you we did a lot of research into like how to do this and what our customers were missing with our old packaging model. And this is really designed to give you the flexibility to mix and match packages as needed, right? To meet the different, let's say, maturity levels that you might have with different trading partners. So for example, you might have 10 trading partners on Basic, 20 on Essentials, 5 on Essentials Plus, and 2 on Complete, just because that's where you're at in your different maturity levels with each of those trading partners. So you can totally mix and match. It takes a little bit of the guesswork out of, hey, how many routes do I need for punch out versus PO? You really think about it in terms of maturity and what you want to accomplish from an ROI perspective. And it's completely up to you based on your goals with your trading partners. So these new packages are now in effect. Customers can learn more about them from your CSM, and prospects can learn more about them through their sales rep during the sales process. So with that, I'll turn things back over to Amanda to moderate our Q&A.
All right. Thank you so much, Steve and Jessica, for showcasing all of the wonderful new features in this quarter's product release. I think I can speak for everyone that there's a lot of really exciting things happening, and very excited to learn more about it and dig into some of the details. All right, so we've got some questions from our audience, so let's dive in. First question we have is, how is TradeCentric Analytics different from the analytics you offered previously?
Oh, that's a great question. So TradeCentric Analytics was designed to go far beyond the basic reporting that's available in Portal today. We listened to our customers' needs, that they needed deeper insights, advanced data analysis capabilities, more user-friendly interface, richer data, and modernize the platform to be able to support those experiences, not only this initial offering that I demonstrated today, but to support additional advanced tools in the future. So it's really the foundation of analytics for TradeCentric, and then it enables us and allows us to build on top of that in the future, which is really nice.
I think it's okay to maybe share a little bit about some of the other things that we're looking at going forward. I don't want to put you on the spot, but
No, I
I
like.
think it's fair to kind of share.
Yeah, for sure. So so what we are looking at adding is additional dashboards and additional metrics and reporting for our clients, so for our customers. So we've heard a lot of feedback, like I said, we had this robust beta period, and we've heard a lot of feedback from our customers during that time that use the product. And a lot there's some gaps in the data, right, that customers would like us to add in terms of how do we tie, like, we have this punch out sessions, do they turn into purchase orders? How do we kind of visualize and tie it all together and get some more robust, richer data around these solutions and trading partners. And so that is what we have planned to add in the future.
Awesome. There's more as well. We can't open the kimono that much yet, but that's a good teaser.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any other questions, Amanda?
Great, thanks for that. Yes, we do have some more questions. Next question, is the updated analytics package automatically rolled out to existing customers, or do we need to request an update?
Oh, no, it's automatically rolled out to customers. It's included with your TradeCentric package. You don't have to request any updates. If you're an existing customer and you log into Portal, there is a new analytics tab that is available to you. And you click on that and off you go, off to the races. So no need to request anything.
Awesome. All right, next question. Are there any recommended resources available to help users get the most out of these updates?
I guess by updates, they mean the quarterly releases. So that's a great question. In the past, we actually have not had something called a knowledge base, and where you could go to learn more about the product, how to use new features, how to get the most out of TradeCentric. That is coming very soon. In fact, we have an internal beta of that live right now, and we're planning to launch that in the Q1 timeframe, hopefully as early in Q1 as possible. But that will be the go-to place, the TradeCentric knowledge base, for learning about things that we announce and release each quarter. So stay tuned, but that is coming. In the meantime, you can always talk to your CSM, and they can provide some help along the way, and/or delivery.
And I would just add on to it, analytics is pretty intuitive, but at least I hope it is. But we've also added a new capability within the product. There are these click-through guides that are embedded now into the platform, so that any users that visit get a walkthrough of the features step by step, to onboard you into the new product as well. So we do have that right now, and the knowledge base will come soon.
Great. Alrighty, next question. How does TradeCentric plan to continue adapting to changes in e-commerce and integration demands?
Oh, that's a great question. You could ask any software company the same question, right? So first, let me reiterate the quarterly cadence of releases, right? So it's something we committed to earlier this year. We started in July. July was kind of a test run, and then this October we're really kind of getting into our groove with quarterly releases. But every quarter we will have a release, right? And that does not mean that on some date, like all these new features show up. We're a SaaS company, so we develop and deploy constantly, which means that features that are part of the plan for the next quarter, some of them might show up early in the quarter, some of them might show up, a little bit right after the quarter ends. But the goal is we have some set of priorities or things that we're trying to accomplish each quarter. So that's the first thing to know. And then as we release, we take a step back and we update our internal roadmap and make sure that we've got our plans in place for what's coming next quarter. And, we're looking ahead 2 or 3 quarters to make sure that, we're keeping an eye on the ball, so to speak. We're always actively listening to customers. So actively listening, not just listening when somebody tells us something, but we're reaching out, asking questions, trying to understand how people like the features that we have, and just get feedback on their current use of what we're doing or offering. We stay updated on e-commerce and integration developments, right? We're attending shows, etc. So that's fairly typical. And we're always looking for opportunities to innovate. So keeping an eye on what other programs or other service offerings exist and what we could do to better serve our customers. So with the October release behind us, we're now focused on what we would call the January release. And that will continue some of the themes from October. So as Jess just shared, there's some things around analytics that we're going to continue. And honestly, we're going to continue the analytics track of features and development through 2025, right? So January, April, July, we will continue to offer new things around analytics. Some things, brand new that we've never done before, of course, and a lot of just easier ways to work with the data to make it so that you get the answers you want, that quickly. We're also planning a new formally supported connector for Shopify B2B. So that's something that's in play right now. We do already support Shopify B2B, but we're implementing a more of a turnkey connector to improve time to delivery for integration. So that's in the works. And then something that we've been working on this year, like I just mentioned before, is that new self-service knowledge base that will be available directly from the portal. So you log in once, and you'll also be able to get access to all of the content in the knowledge base. It includes product articles, videos that show you how to get the most out of TradeCentric. So those are some of the things that are coming, and that's the general. Hopefully, I gave you a pretty good idea of how we plan to continue to innovate and share those updates with you going forward.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
All right, we've got another question. How do buyers use the analytics tool?
Yeah, so I want to clarify, I guess, for the analytics tool is available to all TradeCentric customers. So whether you are a buyer or a supplier, if you are a TradeCentric customer, you have access to analytics and all of that data. And there is no limitation, no matter who you are, you have access.
Alrighty, awesome. We have a couple of other questions related to specific features in analytics. So the first is, Will the analytics include an alerts feature? For example, we would like to receive an alert if customer X has not punched out in 3 days. I know you guys have a lot of wonderful things planned for analytics, so not sure if we want to reveal just yet all of the wonderful things we have planned. So I'll let you guys take this one.
I'll let this go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so this release does not have that capability for alerting, but we are aware that that is something, definitely something our customers have been asking us to do. And what's, great, and kind of what I wanted to make sure that people understood about this new platform and why we modernized it was that we wanted to get on a modern platform, create this destination and experience so that we could add advanced advanced data analysis tools like this for our customers, right? So it's not here today, but I know that we have heard a lot of use cases about ways that our customers would leverage proactive, right? This proactive information coming to them. So definitely wanted to acknowledge that we hear you, and that's exactly why we wanted to modernize this platform to build out those type of experiences.
Yeah, and can I add, I'm not sure, I don't see it anymore in the Q&A, but whoever that was that asked the question, we should follow up with because they'd be a great candidate to give us feedback on, to validate kind of what we've heard from others and maybe give us some insight into how they'd like to use that.
Yeah,
So
yes.
let's not lose that history, Amanda, is my point, my request.
Yes, definitely. We will make sure to keep a log of all questions. These are great. So everybody, please feel free to keep
Oh,
dropping.
Brenda. Brenda asked the question. Okay. Hi, Brenda. Yeah, we know. Okay. We will reach out.
Perfect. All right. We have one more question. Will there be a report to show failure messages rather than having to manually click into the transactions and review?
Yeah, so not in this update that we just covered, but that additional information that I mentioned that is going to come next, right? That seeing those messages is definitely on our radar for a future update because you are not the only one to have asked me for that. We do hear that one.
Great. And again, I want to remind the audience that we will be sending out a survey following today's session. So this feedback is really great. You can feel free to share your thoughts in the post-webinar survey, and we'll make sure that our product team reviews. All right, we have another question. Can you talk about proactive measures buyers can take by leveraging analytics?
Yeah. Oh, sure. So I'm assuming this is probably the attendee that who asked about the buyers and suppliers access. So earlier before. So yeah. So to clarify, if you're a TradeCentric customer, you have access within the portal. You log in, right? Click on analytics, and then what are some? I think what we're getting at is like what are some use cases for buyers being able to look at the data available in analytics, right, and use that data. The different solution dashboards, right, provide information about the volume of transactions by by trading partner overall by month, right? All those that same data, right, is available, for buyers to be able to evaluate. So if you have vendor relationships and that you want to evaluate, how often are we using these vendors? Are they, are we successful, right? Are the delivery rates successful with these vendors? Are we engaging with these vendors as expected? Maybe we need to consolidate or think about how we're going to manage, our portfolio better and optimize our portfolio. Those would be some of the use cases off the top of my head for how buyers would look at this data as TradeCentric customers and leverage it.
And I know you asked the question anonymously, but please reach out to either Jess or myself. I think our contact information on LinkedIn was just shared. And we'd love to talk to you to learn more about what you're thinking and how you might want to use it.
Awesome. Alrighty. Well, those are all of our questions for today's session. Thank you again to our audience for attending today's webinar. Thank you, Steve and Jessica, for your insights. If you'd like to discuss more, like Steve said, I've dropped their LinkedIn information in the chat, so feel free to connect with our panelists. And please do not forget to complete the survey you will receive. We'll be sending it out in our on-demand, along with our on-demand recording later today. We'd love to hear about how we can improve for future sessions, and also any feedback you have on future features you would like to see within our product. And with that, have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.